Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Thursday and welcome to another religion lesson. So, as you saw from Miss Quadri's video about our introduction of the religion that we're doing today, it is Judaism. Your turn. Judaism. Excellent, and we will be learning all about Judaism today. Miss Houston has got a lesson for you all about the Festival of Lights. And that festival is called Hanukkah. 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 Good job. And Hanukkah lasts for 8 days and nights. And we are going to find out all about it. First of all, we're going to find out where it originated from and why. And we're also going to find out how Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah. So off we go. So first of all, I'm going to start off with the story of Hanukkah. The story of Hanukkah. Now, you can listen very carefully to the story, but make sure you are focused because I've got some questions at the end. So, a long time ago, in a country called Israel, there stood a beautiful temple in the city of Jerusalem. So the country was Israel and the city was Jerusalem. And there's the beautiful tower. In Jerusalem lived an evil king called Antiochus. And he didn't like people who had different beliefs from his own. He went around the world fighting against people so that he could make them follow his own beliefs. So this says, I am Antiochus, and I will fight anyone who does not believe the same as me. Doesn't sound like a very good man. King Antiochus decided to fight the people of Israel. He wanted to take over the land and its people. His army won, and he told everyone that now he was in charge, and only his gods could be worshipped. He told the Jewish people of Israel that they must give up their own beliefs and follow only his. If they didn't, they would be punished. Another one of his orders was to destroy the Jewish temples, including the beautiful one in Jerusalem. Remember the one that I showed you before? This one. These Jewish temples were very important places for Jewish people. And Antiochus and his army killed many people and stole lots of sacred objects. And this says, destroy the Jewish temples. Dear, oh dear. The Jewish people were really upset. Most of the people decided they had no other choice but to follow Antiochus's commands. But there was one man, and his name was Judah Maccabee. He decided that the king was wrong, and something had to be done. Judah and his brothers, who were great soldiers, formed an army to fight the king and his army. They were very brave. So this is Judah and his brothers, and this army, their army is called the Maccabees. Can you say that? The Maccabees. Excellent. Good job. Judah's army, known as the Maccabees, were much smaller than the king's army, but the brothers fought with all their might because they were fighting for what they believed in. They wanted their freedom to worship as they had always done. So the Maccabees were fighting for freedom. They wanted to worship the God that they always believed in before King Antiochus came along. Amazingly, the Maccabees won, and the king was defeated. They marched back into Jerusalem, and they were the winners. So the Maccabees won the war against the King Antiochus and his army. They went to reclaim the temple in Jerusalem, but it was in a terrible state. They tried their best to clean up the temple and put the sacred lamp, the menorah, so this is a menorah, back on the altar. So that is the menorah. Look, the temple was in ruins, but the Maccabees and the other Jewish people tried their best to build the temples back up again, and they put the menorah back on the altar. As they worked to try and repair the temple, they found a very small container of oil. So that's a container of oil. But this was only enough to keep the menorah burning for a really short period of time. But then a miracle took place. The lamp burned for 8 days and 8 nights. And that is how the Maccabees knew that God was with them, because the little pot of oil was only going to last them a few hours, and there was no oil left, and it would take them a long time to go and find some more oil. But when they lit the candles with the oil, it ended up that it burned not only for a few hours, for 8 days and 8 nights, boys and girls. And that is how the Maccabees knew that God was looking over them and helping them to build up the temple again. So now, every year, Jews around the world remember and celebrate the events at Hanukkah, which is also known as the Festival of Lights. It is one of the most important dates for Jewish people. So they celebrate Hanukkah every year for 8 days and 8 nights, because that is how long the lamp was burning. But how do Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah? Well, I'll give you a few little pointers, and then we're going to watch a great video where 2 young boys are going to explain to us how to celebrate Hanukkah. So during Hanukkah, the menorah candles are lit by Jewish people, and 1 candle is lit for every day of the festival. And we know that the festival lasts for 8 days, don't we? So this candle will be lit on the first day, then this candle on the second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, 7th day and 8th day. And the one in the middle, we don't count that one, but that one is actually the serpent candle that is used to light the other candles. So the dreidel is played, and this is a game that is played and it's used with either coins or sweeties. So we're going to have a little look of that in the video in a minute. And lastly, latkes are eaten. So these are like fried potato cakes, are eaten at Hanukkah time. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you to the video that we're going to watch all about celebrating Hanukkah.
There are many miracles in Jewish history, but 10-year-old Solly and his sisters Liora and Talia are about to celebrate one of the biggest as part of Hanukkah, the Jewish Festival of Lights.
I'm doing a picture of Hanukkah.
More than 2,000 years ago, a small group called the Maccabees fought to recapture the Holy Temple in Jerusalem from the Greeks and rededicate it to Judaism. To finish purifying the temple, Judah Maccabee wanted to light the ceremonial lamps, but there was only enough oil to last for 1 day. That's when something amazing happened.
Because the Greek army had destroyed all the other jugs of oil, and it was the only hidden one left.
When the
people who looked after the Holy Temple found a teeny bit of oil, and God, Hashem, made it last 8 days and nights.
To celebrate the miracle of the oil, Solly and his brother Rafi are helping to make latkes, deep-fried potato pancakes.
Are they ready?
Not yet, you need to wait for them to cool down first.
Rafi.
It's also traditional to play a game called Dreidel.
Playing the game of Dreidel always helps us remember the miracle of Hanukkah.
The Hebrew letters on the side stand for Nes Gadol Haya Sham, which means a great miracle happened there. You have to spin to win the sweets. But the most important part of Hanukkah is lighting a special lamp, or menorah, called a Hanukkah. It holds 8 lights to represent the 8 days the oil burned for at the Holy Temple.
The whole family has different Hanukkahs, and we all get to light one.
A new candle will be lit every night during the 8-day festival until the Hanukkah is glowing with light. And every evening, once the candles are lit, the presents are opened.
I got a remote control card. Happy Hanukkah!
Happy Hanukkah!
Great video, eh? So that is how Hanukkah is celebrated. I want to check how great you were doing for your listening today. So I've got a few questions for you. What is the festival or celebration we are learning about today called? Begins with a H. Ha. Hanukkah. Excellent. Very good. And I would like to know, how long did the candles on the menorah lamp last for? How long did they burn? Can you remember the number? Excellent. 8 days and nights. Super work. And that is why Hanukkah is celebrated for 8 days and nights. Do you think the king in the story, King Antiochus, was he a nice man? Why or why not? No, I didn't think he was a very nice man either, because he was trying to take over the Jewish people and make them believe what he believed in. Now, we know in school we've learned all about this, that just because someone has different beliefs than we do, it doesn't mean we say, hey, you're wrong, you have to believe what I believe. We say, hey, that's really great that you're different and I'm different, but I respect what you believe and you respect what I believe. And that is what is so important about religion. Just because someone may not believe the same religion as you doesn't mean that anyone is wrong. It just means that there are so many different religions to be explored in the world, and we need to respect all of them. And my last question, and you'll know this from either the video or my last few slides, was, give me one way in which Hanukkah is celebrated. There was a few different ways the two boys showed us, or I will show you. I'll show you back my screen, and maybe it might give you a little bit of memory. There were a few different things. Something happened with the candles. There was a game. Can you remember what it was called? And there were some hot potato pancakes eaten. Can we remember? Excellent. So there's lots of different ways Hanukkah is celebrated. Jewish people light the candles on the menorah or on the Hanukkah for one for each day, don't they? So they light one on the first day, the 2 on the second day, 3 on the third day, and so on and so forth. Another thing that they do is they play the game, the dreidel, isn't it? And they play that with coins or with sweeties, as we saw in the video. They eat some hot potato pancakes, don't they, called latkes? Excellent. And there was gift giving for the children as well. So that is our information all about Hanukkah. And now I'm going to bring you over to my visualizer, and I have a real life menorah here that I want to show you. And then we are going to try and create our own. Let's go, boys and girls. So here I am, and here is my menorah. Now I'm going to lift the visualizer up. You can see my paint in the background, so that gives you a hint of what we're going to be doing today. And this is my menorah. Now, so if I hold it like that, maybe you can see it a bit better. There we go. Now let's count. Remember, there are 8 candles to be lit during Hanukkah, and the 9th one in the middle is the candle. It's called the servant candle. So this one here, it's called the servant candle, and that candle basically just lights the other candles. So let's count to make sure we definitely have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. So during Hanukkah, each night a candle is lit. And we know that Hanukkah, how long does Hanukkah last? For 8 days. So by the 8th day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles will be lighting. Very good. So now I'm going to show you our activity. So today we are going to be making a menorah using our handprints. So what you will need is a piece of paper. I'm just going to straighten this up now after lifting it. A piece of paper. Now Miss Houston's going to use paint, and I have 2 colors, yellow for my flame and blue for my menorah. However, if you do not have paint, you can just get coloring pencils and trace around your hand. So what Miss Houston is going to do first is get my marker, and I am going to write menorah. So I'm going to write okay, can you see that? Okay, yes you can. A capital M. M, E, N, A, you can't even see that. A and a. There we go. Menorah. Now I am going to paint my hand. Like this. Now, like so. And once you have your hand painted, you are going to pop your hand down and make a handprint. And off we go. Now I need to paint the other one. Oh my goodness. Miss Houston, you didn't think this through. Let's paint, 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 paint. Very tickly. You might need a mummy or daddy or an adult's help for this. That's okay. And definitely don't touch any walls or any furniture, please. Now I have my hand printed here, and I'm going to make sure my thumb, actually I want to try and get my thumb a little bit more because that is our servant candle. So I'm going to get this hand, put it over this one, and print my hand down like so. And now, Susan didn't think this through. I am going to get my yellow and light my candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this 9th one is the servant candle. Will light that too. And there you go, boys and girls. That is your activity for today. You have your 8 candles because there are 8 days in Hanukkah, and the 8 candles on the menorah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now you have made a menorah. So as I said, if you don't have paint, no problem. Just get some coloring pencils, and the same thing, you just can trace around your hand. 1 hand, trace around it. 2 hands, trace around it. And then once you finish tracing around it, you can get your yellow or whatever color you want as your flame and draw the flames on top. Okay? And don't forget to write our word menorah, because that was what we were learning about today. I hope you enjoyed that, boys and girls. I certainly did. So have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much for participating. I cannot wait to see your menorah prints using either paint or your hands, or your pencils, I should say. Thanks, boys and girls. Bye.